If you know anything about Lexus at all, you'll get that they don't do things by halves, and that's even when they update a version of their car. This is the RZ 350e. There's now a 500 with all-wheel drive, and there's even steer-by-wire. So there's no actual physical connection between the wheels and the steering wheel. And Lexus have changed so much about this revised version of their car. They've made it go faster. They've given it more power. They make it charge faster, go further. They've made it more rigid. They've updated the suspension. They've tweaked all the e-motors that go to the wheels in the car. So it's quite a substantial update. Let's check it out here in cloudy Portugal on Nobby on Cars. Look at the front of the car. No massive changes. Still resembling the old, if you want to call it old, version of the car, with the same sharp inserts on the lights and a little bit of airflow down here. But it's like Lexus knew this version was always coming, so the exterior hasn't changed much. A couple of ripples in the bonnet here that freshen things up as well. It now gets 224 brake horsepower on the front-wheel drive version, or 381 on the all-wheel drive version. Now the F-Sport gets 408, so there's actually not a huge amount in the real-world difference. I mean, do family cars need 380 brake horsepower? I'll let you be the judge of that. You'll also be able to precondition the battery. You can manually override that, or you can use it via the Lexus inbuilt nav. So all the range concerns that people have had with this car seem to have been addressed. The rear space is actually as generous as ever. There's some map pockets on the backs of the seats, 2 USB charging ports, air vents, 2 Isofix obviously either side, none in the front. You can get a panoramic glass roof, but it doesn't come as standard on this executive version of the car. The materials used are nice and soft, and they still feel premium enough. That's not to say there's not a lot of black stuff going on in the front of the car, but back here it's decent. We have an armrest, good angle on it, and a totally flat floor, this being a ground-up electric vehicle. So plenty of headspace for rear passengers also. I don't think too many people are going to have anything to complain about. And that seat is all the way back. So if you do need that extra little bit of leg and knee space in the back of your next family car, this is another reason to tick a box. The steering wheel is synthetic leather. In fact, none of the materials used in this car are from animals. And it does feel very, very nice. You'd never actually know. You've got your regen paddles here on the steering wheel also. And all the physical buttons throughout the cabin remain. There's the armrest that opens on either side. Because it's a Lexus, why wouldn't you do that? On certain trim, you'll get this kind of nighttime illumination. That kind of, it's like a diamond sparkle effect. It looks very, very nice. They've used lasers to cut shapes in the car, design some of the trim, indeed I think work on the doors. So again, there's just lots and lots of detail. This huge screen is plonked in the middle of the dashboard. Some people will find it a very, very large tablet. That's the way they'll describe it. Kind of on its side, but it has a strip down the bottom that remains for your aircon. The driver monitoring systems, as usual, a little bit finicky. You've got to go in through the screen to do it, so something you're best doing before you set off on your journey. Gear selector is down here. There's a wireless charging plate and 3 USB-C charging ports on the front. Again, look, that's how they do things. The dash is nicely put together. It doesn't feel like it's ever going to rattle, even if you do get to the 1 million kilometer expiration of the warranty. The lower trim areas, yeah, it gets a bit hard, and you know, some of it is quite harsh black. A beige or a nicer interior color might complement things a little bit better. Very refined, very comfortable. This version doesn't have the air-cooled seats. Higher trim specs will. They are heated, however, and you just kind of feel at one with the car. You're quite low down if you want to be. You can obviously raise the electric seat, you know, to give you more height, but certainly I like to feel a little bit connected to the car, and you do. But are the big differences in the drive? Let's go and find out. This was always a very quiet, refined car. It's actually not that long since I drove the outgoing version of it. But now, I don't know what they've stuffed in the wheel arches and every other place you can insulate a car. The E-axles, so if you have power just going to the front, they've revised the efficiency to them, increase the power. Obviously, if you have the four-wheel drive version of it, the axles on the rear as well. You've got McPherson strut, double wishbone. It just works. It's a more rigid body. It's better in corners. It's flatter in corners. I think the previous version actually had enough power, but now you've got a bit more. And that's fine, putting more power into a front-wheel drive car. Does it work? Now, the roads aren't wet, it has to be said, here in Portugal, although we've had a little bit of drizzle. That remains to be seen. I'll have to test that on the car in Ireland, where we're probably guaranteed we'll get some rain on the roads. But yeah, there's no huge torque steer. Really, when you're pushing onto motorway speeds, if you're joining a motorway and you're hard accelerating, you might feel you have to grip a little bit more. I am very curious to try out the steer-by-wire. Lexus have been working on this for 10 years, and it's their first production car they're going to put it into. There's no top on the steering wheel. So you should watch that next video that I'm going to do. Decent fuel efficiency. Best I've seen is 14 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. Put the boot down, get a little bit of noise from the motor. Some of it augmented, no doubt. Brake feel, decent. Press the brake, friction is there straight away. There is also levels of regen, not fully one pedal, but three levels in total. A lot of people say that the most efficient way to drive an EV is to have regen off. If you've got one, let me know what way you drive it. I'm curious. A little Nobby on Cars YouTube comments poll as such. In some cases, it was taking up to 55 minutes to get from 10 to 80%. Now it'll do it in less than 30, even at temperatures to minus 10 degrees. And you have the 22 kilowatt on board also. Any excess heat from the air conditioning or the heating can be used to cool, although it's liquid cooled, for thermal management of the battery also. A lot of people, these are probably nerdy things that they really don't care about. They just want to know, how far will this car go for me? And judging by what I've been doing today, you're getting a minimum of 400 kilometers. As I said, that's 22 degrees Celsius, but a decent mix of roads. And as usual, I don't really hang about. I mean, I drive within the law and everything, but acceleration, I like to be hard with that, just to really put the car through its paces. So you could possibly get 500 kilometers, depending on how easy you go, depending if you turn your air conditioning off, things like that, how many passengers you're carrying, of course, as well. In my opinion, I think if you're considering one of these cars, the things you want to know are, well, how much is it going to cost? Previous versions being low 60s. I did ask Lexus, are there a collection of them hanging around? And there aren't. They literally brought in, I think, 28 cars into the country. Again, in anticipation of this one, because they didn't want to be stuck with the old model, I suppose. So that question I can't quite confirm. Is it more efficient? Yes. And have they done enough tweaks to now make it a serious contender? Yes. If you've never tried Lexus, you should. And I don't want to sound salespersony on that. I'm not saying go and buy one. I mean, buy one if you'd like, but try them. If you've been in the premium sphere, maybe there's something you've overlooked. Lexus in Ireland, at just over 6% of the premium share, actually have the highest share of premium in Western Europe. So we like our Lexuses in Ireland. The lack of outside world noise is what gets me every time in these cars. I could genuinely whisper in this car to a passenger, or you, and it's fine. I actually probably could have done the entire driving impressions in this car, whispering, and you'd hear it fine. I mean, you might nod off. It's like a little bit of ASMR as you drive. Oh, ASMR. I don't really get those videos, by the way. I'm not going to start doing them, don't worry. Big improvement, just got to get the price right. The price versus the range in the outgoing version was a little bit compromised. If they get the price right on this, they now have the range and the battery technology spot on. Price is key. Don't mess it up, Lexus. Lexus have done a solid update on this car. As I said earlier on in the video, you'd wonder why they put out the previous version that they did. That said, the range in that car for a lot of people is still fine. Unless you have a massive bladder, you're going to need to pull over and charge if you do require public charging. It's got really decent, maximum about 150 kilowatt charging speed now, so you will get back on the road quicker. It seems to be more efficient. So they've changed the interior of the battery, they've tweaked the cells, they haven't made the physical cage of the battery larger. They've done an awful lot with this car. Now, I don't have the price yet. Could it be a €5,000 increase? Could it be less than that? We'll get prices, I believe, around October of this year, so quite a while to go just yet. And as I said, first delivery is expected in January 2026. It was always a fairly refined and quiet car. They've now, without a doubt, taken it up a notch, and it's just extremely comfortable. I am going to do a separate video on the steer-by-wire version. The steering wheel looks different. There's no physical connection. There should be more interior space around your knees as a result of that. You'll only be able to get it in the all-wheel drive version of the car also. So if you want to watch that video, you can have a look at the description down below. But let me know what you think. Was the previous version enough for you? Are you in one currently? Or is this now updated version of the RZ the one you will actually go for? Again, a 1 million kilometer warranty on this car for 10 years. If you get it serviced in your Lexus dealer, like no one else is doing that. So there's a lot of reassurance in this vehicle, and my God, Lexus do over-engineer everything, especially revised models. So thank you very much for coming with me this far in the video today. The sun's actually come out now in Portugal, not too bad. I'll see you next time.